Hey everyone, it's Ursa Midnight and welcome back to another build in The Sims 4. Today we are working on a library for the Willow Creek world. This library was kind of interesting to make. As you can see, I kept playing around with how I wanted to build this library. At first I wanted to put a roof and I couldn't figure it out, honestly. For a while there, it was interesting to try to figure out what I wanted to build. I ended up kind of going with this type of design. I was basing it off of the house next door, which needs to also be remade into a lot made by me. So I think all the community lots in that line are all going to be kind of the same style, and I think it's going to be useful in that way because it will implement it more in a different way. Hi Caramel, come here. Hi buddy. Caramel of course is visiting us while we're recording voice audio, but yeah, so I think this was probably definitely I like the color scheme I went with this house, mainly because it's mostly blue on the inside, which is my favorite color. So just kind of implementing a more darker toned area with white windows and some white accents, but also dark contrast of the walls has really been very beneficial. I wanted to do a blue brick wall, but there wasn't really any blue brick walls available that were in base game, because keep in mind this entire build is all base game except for one part in the bathrooms. The paper towel dispenser is from Get to Work. I wanted to use those paper towel rolls, the paper towel dispenser, because I feel like it would be something that they would have in that type of environment and in a community build. So yes, it is a base game build, but there is that little part that isn't base game, and that's the only thing that was not made base game. I ended up actually changing the windows on the bottom floor into a door later on, but as of right now I was trying to figure out a wall or floor design for the entire build. Then here I actually added flooring onto the top of the roof to add color, and then I changed that one wall part into a door instead of a window. And then I was trying to match the flooring to the other flooring. It's so hard to find the matching flooring. I also didn't use debug, so maybe it's under debug, I'm not 100% sure. But this was pretty fun to kind of match, because I noticed the other builds next door had the same, had concrete around the build, so that's why I ended up implementing some concrete around the build. Then we added some lights, and then painted all the walls white, but then later on I do change the bathroom wall colors to a tile, just to implement a little bit of difference in the bathroom. So I did make what would be technically a girl bathroom and a boy bathroom. But either they can go in either one. It's not specified. I did, because base game did not have at the time stalls. I did have to make up my own stalls for this recording. Also, curtains were pretty hard to figure out with these windows because they were the medium height on a tall wall, and this was not easy to put curtains up in this rooms, but it's okay, it looks nice. Not all the rooms have curtains, I think some don't. At first I was just gonna do two bathroom stalls, but then I ended up doing three bathrooms, two showers, not three showers, just to add multiple types. Plus also my thought process for this was, sometimes your Sims hygiene goes low and you need to be able to access a shower. And then I realized I needed to build move objects on, so move objects was applied. And then I just did counters for all the bathrooms. I ended up taking away one of the sinks later on in each bathroom and made it that it was like a trash can with a disposable paper towels. So I did try to stick with some form of color scheme. Then I added an archway in that room. And then I went upstairs and I added 2 spots for books. So there is, one half has couches that Sims can sit on and read a book. And then on the other side will be like the singular chairs, only 4 people at each spot instead of the 8 at the other spot. My thinking process was, you know, sometimes study groups, you know, kids can go there and study together and they need like an area where they can all sit. And then there's also the people who go there and want to have their own space to read. Added a fence from the outside, then I added bookshelves again, and this is where I made the little singular seating areas for the Sims. So I did 4 chairs near each other, but they don't have to be technically talking to each other or anything of that sort. So it's more of like an area where they can just focus on their own area. I ended up removing those 4 chairs that I did put near the couches because it just didn't really work. Then I was trying to figure out rugs. I ended up going with sized down rugs and then circular rugs near the 4 chairs. And then after that I added some plants in the upper floor because I needed some form of greenery, honestly. It was looking a little bit plain. And then after that, I ended up going downstairs and then we started working in the computer room. So this is going to be a little computer room after we added, see here I am adding the trash cans and whatnots. I do end up making a little computer room where there is about 8 computers. Because to me, when I think of a library, I think of like an area designated just for the computers, because that's usually where it might be louder. So I ended up doing it kind of like that for the computer area. Gave them a blue chair, and then that was that room. And then I ended up putting artwork all around the room. I tried kind of matching them, but Base Game has very small art pieces that look weird if you try to size them up. So I did do my best on the artwork. I didn't have much choices with the Base Game, but overall I did like how it came out. And then I, after that, did a little chess room over here. So there's 3 sets of chess that you can play. Added an aquarium, and then I don't think I added anything else there. And then here we start on the backyard, not background. So the backyard will have like a little cooking area, and then like a little tree area just to implement like a little space for the Sims to go make some food, and also just to be outside. I do wish I added a little bit more seating, but it's okay. It's nice. I do like it. And yeah, so on that note, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.